The biggest risk somebody could take is not taking a chance on yourself and not taking a risk. So we got to find a way to do that. You know, in any business that you decide to do, like find a way to get cash flow.
Every day.
Cash flow is king. Cash flow is king.
People try to say, the old saying was cash is king. It's really cash flow.
It's cash flow. Yeah, it's cash flow. And sometimes it's not because of the money, Maven.
Yeah.
It's because they lack confidence in themselves.
Welcome to Black Wealth Weekly podcast, where you can find different guests being interviewed by me, Shaniqua Nicole, the Millennial Money Maven, every single week, where we will be breaking down how they got into their respective industries and are creating wealth for their families. You don't want to miss an episode, so hit the bell and tune in.
What's up, family? Welcome to this week's episode of Black Wealth Weekly. I'm your girl, Shaniqua Nicole, the Millennial Money Maven, and I have another super dope guest for y'all, King Eugene. What's going on?
What's good? What up? How's it going?
Everything is amazing. Super happy to have you here today. Y'all, this is one of my rich friends. He out here killing the game at Airbnb. So, King, please introduce yourself to the audience. Tell them who you are and what you do.
100%. So my name's Eugene, Airbnb coach and serial entrepreneur. Been able to be in Airbnb and scale it to multiple 6 and 7 figures. Been doing that for a couple of years. And also we help mentor thousands of students to be able to do the same thing. But more importantly, what we after is the freedom. So we're showing people how to get their freedom back.
Absolutely. That's what this platform is all about, for us to be able to inspire somebody to find their way to wealth. At the end of the day, I have a whole heart belief that we all deserve to be wealthy, and that looks different for everybody.
Facts, that's what's right. That's all right.
Yeah, so, some people might just need 100,000. Some people might need 100 million, right? But whatever your level is, hopefully you can find somebody that I bring to you guys, my interviewees, find some inspiration, right? And what they're doing, maybe they can inspire you to figure out what you're going to do with your life, because you got to do something.
Facts.
So you've been doing Airbnb for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Have been very successful. What does it look like to have a successful Airbnb business?
So what does it look like? A lot of work. It's a lot of work, right? So, a lot of times when people hear successful people, they think it's easy. Won't go through any problems, right? So any business that you're in, I don't care what it is, like you're going to have some problems, you're going to have some issues. But the great thing is when you own it, and if it's successful, you're having some great income, and then it gives you some freedom. So running that business, you know what I'm saying, where we're able to create systems and automation where we always have to be hands-on with the business, and then it gives us the cash flow and the freedom, with doing the Airbnb, because we're able to get daily deposits.
Yeah.
Anytime a guest checks in, and we're getting paid every day.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of people that only work a 9 to 5, that's not an entrepreneur, they're only getting paid once a month, every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Or every week, 4 times a month. And
right.
for me, my mindset is like, man, I'm too old or too grown to only get paid once a month, 4 times a month. Like, we got to get paid every day.
Right.
Because we got bills every day. So why not find a way to get money every day to cover those bills and expenses?
Got you. So Airbnb was that for you?
Yeah.
And so Airbnb hasn't been around that long. So tell us a little bit about your Airbnb journey. How'd you get started?
100%. So I've been an entrepreneur well over a decade. I've been in the business world for over 10 years. And, for me, my whole thing was I never really expected for me to be an entrepreneur, because my parents instilled to me, go to school, go to college, work a job. I'm saying nowadays that stands for just over broke.
That 40-40-40 plan.
That's all we knew. So it was I didn't expect to be an entrepreneur. So I went to college, graduated. My mindset was get this job and live the American dream. But guess what was the American nightmare? You know what I'm saying? I'm overworking, underpaid. And I had to think to myself, because my main goal was, when I got into entrepreneurship, my very first business was, look, I want to be able to create enough income to take care of my family. But number 2 is get my time back.
Right.
Because I'm working 40 hours a week. I got no time to myself. So that's what really got me to start my very first business. We got into that business, and I was actually, I owned a car dealership, so it was a brick and mortar business. And I realized I was making money, but I didn't have no time. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, I want to do something when I have time. So this is when I got into financial services, and I was able to work from home, get my time freedom. We sold that car business. And, financial services, most of the times we make a lot of money beginning of the year, from January through April, right?
Yeah.
During tax season, tax professionals. So
right.
I said, what can I put my money into where I can make a quick return? And I thought about real estate. Me and my wife at the time, we owned 1 duplex, and we only got rent once a month. By the 5th of the month, we collect the rent. That's it. We paid the mortgage, and we kept the difference. It's a couple $100.
Right.
But I'm like, man, if I get another multifamily, I'm only going to pay a little bit. It's going to take me a couple months to get my money back. Then I thought about Airbnb.
Yeah.
And I thought, do I have to buy a property to do Airbnb? Do I have to purchase a property to do it? But when I began to do research and learn about it, I don't have to. I could do rental arbitrage, rent somebody else's property with their permission, sublease it, rent it to somebody else, and make money right away. And that's how we got into it a couple of years ago. And the scaled it and been successful ever since.
Gotcha. So you started with just one unit? Did you start with a mentor? Like, did you just jump into it and figure it out? What was that beginning stage looking like for you?
So for me, number one, I'm a risk taker. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be.
You gotta be a risk taker. Most people are afraid to take risks. And for me, it's like if you're not taking risk, if you're not taking if you're not doing anything at all, you're taking a risk. Anyways, the biggest risk somebody could take is not taking a chance on yourself and not taking a risk, doing nothing. That's the biggest risk. Not doing nothing at all.
Right.
That is the biggest risk.
Right.
So for me, I've always been that person that jump out and get into business. Like for me, I'm the youngest in my family of 8, and I'm the only one that's an entrepreneur.
I'm the oldest of 8.
Yeah?
That's
wow.
so funny. Wow.
So I've always been that person that was willing to take a risk and do it. So when I heard about it, I did a lot of research. I learned, I paid for information. I paid for, webinar classes to learn more about it. And guess what? I took a chance on myself and we tapped into it. My very first one, I was looking for one unit. The funny thing was only looking for one unit, but I ended up getting 3.
At one time?
At one time.
Wow.
At one time. So
how did that happen? What was the story behind that?
So what happened was I learned the method of, rental arbitrage, and you have to get a corporate lease, right? So you're able to do short-term rental under your corporate name, under your LLC name. And I was looking for places that allow corporate lease and short-term rental.
Yeah. And
I found one spot and said, yeah, we allow it. And I said, hey, can I do a tour? I went to do a tour and I was like, all right, well, I like this particular apartment. And I was like, well, I want to go ahead and secure it. Like, can I get it secured? It's like, and the leasing manager said, how many units you want? I'm like, how many can I get? He said, how many can I get? He said, well, I can give you 3 right now. I said, all right, well, let's do it. I was only looking for 1,
right?
But I ended up getting 3 that first time.
Wow.
And then what I did was most people, when they get money, what do? They blow it, they spend it. But I said, you know what? Well, let me put my money back into the business, right? It's a seed. So most people look at money, they want to hold on to it. Like, well, I want to save it. Like, nah, let me put it back into the business, let it grow. So we kept getting more units, and that's how we expanded and scaled it.
And where you at now? How many units?
So we have about 25 that we manage right now, 25 units.
Gotcha. And you were renting?
Renting them all. And the crazy thing, some of them that we rent out, like we got a particular house, like we make more money than a landlord there. The landlord, we're only paying $1,700 in rent, but we're able to gain anywhere from $6,000 to $7,000 in revenue in a particular unit. We pay the landlord $1,700 and we get to keep, anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000 in profit.
Right. So should a landlord venture into this space then?
I would say it depends.
Okay. If what?
It depends. What type of person they are. Like, do they want to, deal with turnovers? Do they want to deal with having people in and out daily and they have to manage it, right?
Yeah.
Or communicating with a team of cleaners. Like, do they want to deal with it?
Yeah.
And you have some people that say, no, I don't want to deal with it. I'd rather just take a little bit, not deal with that, and that's it.
And be okay with that.
Be okay with it. Because, some people, one, they're not money motivated. They're comfortable. And sometimes comfortable meaning that your lifestyle is going to be basic, right? You can't do a lot of certain things you don't want to do because, hey, you just want to be comfortable.
Right.
Then you got people like you and me. Nah, we don't want to be just basic. We want more, right?
Right.
So if it's that type of landlord, so you know what? Well, I want to maximize what I can earn. If that's you, then you should do short-term rental, right? You should do Airbnb because you can make more money than traditional rental. Or if you're that type of person like, well, I don't want to deal with communicating with cleaners and I just want to collect money once a month and just be okay and less risk, right? Less risk, less headache.
Yeah.
You're going to get a little bit of money. So don't get into it.
Gotcha. Yeah, more risk, more reward. Reward. That's what they say, right? Got you. So I like that. So now you're up to 25 units. Now, at this point, Airbnb has been around for a couple of years.
Yeah.
What have been some of the changes that you've seen? And what does the landscape look like today?
Yeah, so been a lot of changes, good and bad changes, right? And I look at it like any industry because you have some people, well, don't get into Airbnb because, there's a lot of restrictions that a lot of different cities are doing, different states are doing. And
Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta. and it's saturated, right? And for me, that could be a good and bad thing. The way I look at it is like, well, it's going to wear off all the people that's not serious about Airbnb and they're going to just dip off and do something else because they're not committed. Right. And that leaves room for us to maximize on what we can earn.
Right.
So where it's going, like it's going to be here for a long period of time because, looking at numbers, I'm a numbers person, right? Because for me, I'm not even going to get to a business or an industry just because it's trending and it's popular. I'm looking at the numbers. Does it make sense? Can I scale it?
Yeah.
You know, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So what the numbers look like long term?
So long term, they just had their stock review, a company review. They're worth about $100 billion worth, right? Last year in 2022, the first 3 months, they did $1 billion in revenue, and they continue to scale.
In 2023,
and now 2023, they're doubling that number right now.
Wow.
Why? Because more people are looking to travel. You have not just people that want to take vacations. A lot of times people only think about, oh, well, vacations. No, you got travel nurses, you got travel workers, you got people that need temporary stays a stay because maybe they lost their home through a fire or whatever the case may be. Insurance paying for their stay for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Right. So they're in high demand right now. Most people don't want to be in a hotel studio style for a whole month.
Right.
They want to feel like they're at home. They want that experience.
Gotcha.
And it's trending right now, and it's going to be here for a long period of time. Airbnb is going to be here to stay, but the industry is short-term rental, right? It's been here for decades.
Yeah.
Now it's more popular, so it's going to be here for a long period of time. It's not going nowhere. And for me, I think it's a great way. If you never made 6 figures or 7 figures, it's a great way to do so in this game.
Gotcha. So how do you make 6 and 7 figures with Airbnb when you have such high expenses like high rent? You have furniture you have to buy. I guess let's talk about the numbers. If I wanted to start me at Airbnb today, what is it going to look like for me to get a unit, furnish it, and get my first booking?
Yeah, so I would say on average, depending if it's a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom apartment, if you want to go that route, it could cost you anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000.
Okay.
You know, getting your first unit about $8,000, right? And that may look like a high investment, but it's not.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. $8,000. And you know what you could do, you got to get creative. You can leverage OPM, you can leverage the big money, you can get financing, do creative financing where you're not using your money. And that leads me to, you know, most people, they're afraid to leverage debt, right? Because we was taught the whole time, don't get debt, don't borrow money, right?
But it is, right.
You know what I'm saying? Debt is bad.
Debt is bad.
But you got to know how to use debt. You have 2 different types of debt. You have good debt, then you have bad debt, right? Bad debt, most people, when they get money or a credit card, the case may be, they go buy liabilities, right? Stuff they can't afford. And my mentor told me, said, look, Eugene, said, look, man, poor middle-class people, they use debt to put themselves in liability and not make money.
Right.
Right? They say rich people, the 1%, what they do is they understand how to use debt to make more money, to borrow the bank money, to invest it and make more money.
Right.
Right? And that's what they do. So you can do the exact same thing that rich people do with Airbnb, leverage the bank money to get your first unit.
I love it.
Right? And then also get the furniture. So you're not coming out of pocket for anything.
Yeah.
You're just leveraging the information that you learn, invest it and make more money, pay the bank back and keep the difference. But Maven, guess what? That's exactly what the banks do. They use our money, right? All the money we put in the savings account, invest it. But guess what? They give us make more money, but they only give us 0.001%.
Right. Listen, I'm betting on me. I'd rather flip my money before I let the bank flip my money.
Facts, right? So we as a people, we have to learn how to be the bank.
Right.
We have to learn how to be the bank.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think that when things begin to change, like in anything that you decide to do, you gotta understand how to be the bank and just be able to use money, invest it, and make more money.
Yeah.
And dominate. But you can do the exact same thing with Airbnb, leverage business credit, and then get your Airbnb, get it furnished, make the money, keep the profit, and pay the bank back.
And I love, you know, how you said, you know, we're making money every day. Like, that sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
I want a piece of that.
Yeah, you know, and that's what we want because we got bills or money we're spending every day.
Right.
Why not get paid every day?
Absolutely.
You know, so we got to find a way to do that. You know, in
Absolutely.
any business that you decide to do, like find a way to get cash flow.
Every day. Cash
That's
flow
what you
is
want.
king.
Cash flow is king.
People try to say, you know, the old saying was cash is king. It's really cash flow.
It's cash
king.
flow. Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
cash flow. You got to have cash flow, and that's what you want. Like, you need cash flow. Like, money is needed. You need to get cash flow.
Gotcha. So right now you have 25 units. What does managing all this stuff look like?
Managing. Okay, but when I first started, it was kind of tough. I had to learn. And what I look at when I tell my mentees in business, like, or when I tell my mentees about, you know, Airbnb, the strategies and systems that we put together, you could put in any business, right? Because you got to create SOPs, like any business that you have. You got to create systems. You got to create automation. So you're not that person that's doing everything. Right? So you're not always working in the business, you're working on the business, you're overseeing everything, you're delegating certain things.
Gotcha.
Right,
I mean, that's the only way you can scale to 25 units.
That's it.
There's no way you can be the cleaner. You know, I know a lot of people will try to say, oh, well, I could charge $100 extra. I'll just make the extra $100 to clean my unit. Why?
Yeah. No. You're being a worker.
Right.
You know, and I tell people like, I had told one of my mentors, no, you don't want to do that. No.
Right.
Delegate that. Get a cleaning team.
Yeah.
Have them take care of that.
Take less money.
Take less money.
Money's not for you anyway. Money is to be circulated.
100%.
You know?
Go on vacation, or spend time with your family, and have your business still running. So what we created is a system. So we got a cleaning company that cleans all of our units.
Okay.
And then we have a software that we use. It's called Hostaway.
Okay.
And it's called a channel manager or a PMS system, like a property management system, where you can link all of your units together. It could communicate to your cleaners so that the cleaners know when your guest is checking out, so they know to clean that unit for you.
Gotcha.
And you can set up automated messaging.
Wow.
So the system will automate a message any guest that have a question, right? So what's even better, what we do is we also have VAs, virtual assistants.
Right.
So now we create like a virtual front desk. So think about a front desk at a hotel, right? So they have a front desk, someone at the front desk 24/7 hotel, just in case someone got questions.
Yeah.
Or it's a maintenance repair that's needed.
Right.
So we have the exact same thing we created within our business. So if a guest that's staying at one of our units have a maintenance request, something happened, they could reach out to our VA, put their request in. The VA could reach out to a handyman person that we have, and they could go ahead and take care of that fix, or reach out to that apartment complex or landlord, put the request in and get it fixed. So we create those automation systems. We have a cleaning team, we got a handyman team, and then we got our VAs that do all the messaging, and then we leverage the tools such as Hostaway, where we could link everything together, communicate, and create the automation. So it's less hands-on with us, and we could focus on different things that we want to do.
I mean, that sounds like really the only way that you'll be able to have 25 units.
Yeah.
Like managing 25 units without a system, a core house for everything, I couldn't imagine how, how else you could do it. All right, bet. That's super dope. So I've thought about Airbnb personally. I personally feel like it's not enough money in it for me. So tell me, how much money, how much can a person expect to earn, profit, or what should they be looking for when they start researching where they should put their Airbnb, how much money they can make from it? What do the numbers look like?
That's a great question. And, for anyone that's looking to first, get into Airbnb or just get into business in general, what I tell people is you have to look at, how much money you want to make, right? How much you want to make. Because some people are like, hey, I'm comfortable making 6 figures and that's it.
Yeah.
Right. But you have some people like right now, I can't survive off this 6 figures a year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be enough for me.
Right.
So it's like, hey, do I want to make $1 million a year? Right. And then you got to look at your why. I tell you, look at your why, right? Why do you want to make $1 million a year? What would you do with it? Right? Would you take care of your family, take more vacations, give back to your community, do a bigger impact in your community? What would you do?
Right.
So it depends on where you want to be at, right?
Yeah.
Because you can scale it up and it's all a numbers game. I look at each of my units and I put it into my mind like a stock, right? Stock goes up, you look for the stock to go up, right? So I look at it as a stock that I could drive each unit for the price to go up and how much I can earn. So when you first get into it, if you have just 4 to 5 units, you can easily make an extra $100,000 a year, $10,000 a month with just 4 units, right? Depending on what type of unit, if it's an apartment or if it's a house that you're doing. Houses, obviously, you can make more money. More people you can house, you can make more money.
So that's like a good benchmark.
Yeah.
Get your first core 4.
Yeah.
You can make it quick. You can make a good 100,000 with once you have 4 properties.
Yeah, with 4 properties.
Now let me ask you this: if I'm just coming in and I don't want to be the manager, right? I don't know if you do this, but are there people that would manage my Airbnb for me that I can just pay? Like, typically property management, if you have rentals, you pay them 10%.
Correct.
Is there anything like that in that
space?
space?
They got something which is called a co-host.
Okay.
So you can have someone co-host your units for you. You give them 10% of all the bookings that's coming in, they manage it for you. So they'll take care of the messaging, everything. So that way it's hands off. You don't got to manage anything. You can get a co-host to do that.
See, y'all be making me. Y'all be trying to give me 10 jobs. It sounds so nice and easy. $6,000 for $24,000 invested, and I can make $100,000 in my first year.
Yeah,
that sounds like a no-brainer.
That's it. So once you have all the systems and the right information, you could do it. But what's even better? Let's say you get more than that. You scale it, and you just get 10 to 15. You can easily make 7 figures
off Airbnb.
With Airbnb, revenue 7 figures. But the crazy thing about it is you don't own the properties.
Right.
Right, so you have less risk, less involved in it, and you can scale and make more money, right?
So you don't have no debt.
No debt at all,
and
you're getting the cash flow,
figures.
7 figures with it. So just imagine if you're making an extra $80,000 to $100,000 a month. Like, what would that do for you?
Yeah, everything.
Because most of us, we so focused. Hey, I want to make $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
But how does it feel when you make $100,000 a month? Now you compress in time frames.
Right.
Right. Now you can have more freedom.
Yep.
You can do things that you want to do.
Now you got more life.
Now you have more life.
Yeah.
And that's what Airbnb provides for us. And that's what we're showing other people how to do and teaching them how to do as well.
Wow. $1 million with just hosting an Airbnb.
Yeah, but you know, most people when they think about Airbnb.
Look, this is why I be having ADD, because my friends be talking about all this money, and I just be like, dang. So I just got to invest, and I could. Wow. Okay.
And what's even better? Think about it. Like, you know, most people just think about people that want to take vacations, but you can even niche it down. Just like I said earlier, and focus on. Hey, I just want to focus on travel nurses.
Yeah.
I just want to focus on travel workers. Like. And the great thing about them, Maven, is guess what? They stay a month at a time, 3 months. I had a travel nurse pay me $12,000 up front. They stay at my spot for 3 months. So just imagine if you just have 5 people doing that, pay you money up front to stay at your spot. So that's what we're focusing on now, is focusing on the travel workers.
Gotcha.
Because guess what? Like, they will pay because their job's going to give them the funds.
Gotcha.
We have a travel worker right now staying in that spot for 3 months.
Right.
And paying out $5,000 every month.
And the company pays for it.
The company pays for it.
Got you.
You know, so that's what we're focused on now. And I tell people, don't just focus on people that want to take vacations, but focus on those travel workers, focus on the travel nurses.
And how do you do that? Like, how do you target those kind of people?
Yeah, so what I kind of think about, my concept is, well, if I go fishing, I want a particular fish, I want the big fish, I'm not gonna put that basic squid on there. I'm gonna get the little baby fish, right? But I want the big fish, I gotta put a certain type of bait.
Right.
It's the exact same way you want to set up your Airbnb or build your business. So I look for units near hospitals or downtown area where I'm at in Florida, right? Because I know downtown, I'm going to attract business professionals. And also if I'm by a hospital, I'm going to attract travel medical professional, right? So then also what I do is I list my units also, not just on Airbnb, but I list also on nationalcorphousing.com, right? I also list it on furnishfinders.com. And these are where our travel workers are looking for housing for months at a time.
Gotcha.
And then if on my Airbnb description, I put discounts for long-term stays for 28 days or more.
Right.
Right. So now I attract those individuals that's looking to be at a hospital, that's looking to stay at a month at a time. And they'll reach out, hey, look, I'm here for an assignment. I'm looking to stay for 2 months.
Gotcha.
Right. And this is how we attract these individuals, but also making sure that we have a lot of stuff we could accommodate them. Right, making sure I have different things inside the unit, different amenities, so that way they can feel like, hey, they're at home, they're comfortable, and now we give them that value, and they're gonna be willing to pay.
Gotcha. I like it. I like it. I like it. I've never heard the Airbnb business explained this way.
Yeah.
A lot of people do Airbnb and teach Airbnb, but like I said, it just never really seemed attractive to me.
Yeah.
But you telling me I can make 7 figures?
Yeah. And yeah,
that's just from the money you make from Airbnb.
Just from Airbnb.
Having the units. Got you. Wow. So no wonder there's so many I see a lot of younger people jumping in Airbnb because they can go get an apartment and, kind of really make more money than they would if they went and worked anywhere. Any job is going to pay you $12, $15 an hour. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
Interesting. Awesome. So what were you doing before Airbnb?
So Airbnb, I was in the financial services industry for about 7 years, right? 7 years. So we was doing that for about 7 years. So it was helping people, build their credit, build their finances, helping them become homeowners. And my wife's also a real estate agent as well in Florida. So that's what we was doing. Been doing that for 7 years. And then I was looking for a way, man, how can I make my money, make more money? How can I make my money, have money babies? Right? I got to find a way to invest it.
Money babies. Oh, I like that. Yes, I need my money to have money babies. So when I first left my corporate job, and this is what I tell people as a part of my story is, I worked I did the same thing. Went to college. My parents had me when they were 16. So they ain't know nothing. They just knew go to college and get you a job.
That's it.
And that was it. So that was like the extent of my coaching and my life training, right? So I did it. I went and got a job, but I say to this day, if like one person in my family would have pushed me to be an entrepreneur sooner, I would have been an entrepreneur.
Me too.
Yeah, definitely would have been an entrepreneur. But what I realized while working my job, it gave me really great structure because I was always into finances and I worked on Wall Street. So I worked around money savvy people. So my boss, first thing he told me, never live paycheck to paycheck. And so I would save. And so when I left, when I retired myself at the age of 30, I retired myself from corporate. Congrats. Thank you. I'm a little older than 30 now. But
what's the secret, man? You don't look like you're 30, man. What's the secret?
Well, I appreciate that. But retired myself at 30 and found myself I had a lot of money that I had saved from investing while I was working on Wall Street. So I was investing and just being able to save money. And so I had been doing my little tax business on the side for, at this point, it's been like 15 years. At that time, I don't know. But I was making good money from that. And really the job got to be in the way. So I was feeling like, okay, what do I have to do to pull myself out of work and, to be able to get my business to scale? I thought that I needed to leave the job, but what I later learned is I really needed to learn how to delegate. And I really needed to learn how to set up these systems like you're talking about. But then when I did leave, I had this money. And for so long, that money was like my security blanket. But when I left, I instantly realized, like, yo, this money sitting in the bank is doing nothing. Oh. And it literally changed my whole world about money, because I used to just like to see my money in the bank. Or like a lot of women say they like to go shopping. So I like to see my money in the closet. I like to see my money in the bank. Or people that invest in real estate, I like to see my money in my real estate. But when I realized that money sitting still was dead money, and I need to figure out how I can get my money to make these money babies, like that was really when I feel like, I just set my mind free, and, all the opportunities and possibilities, became an option for me. So, tell us like a pivotal moment in your career, in your life, that you realized that, you knew or you wanted to be a 7-figure earner.
Yo, what's up, y'all, man? We're taking a break from this episode right here. And how many of you guys been looking to get started in Airbnb, but you don't know how to? All right, well, guess what? We got a solution for you. I actually got a 6-figure Airbnb masterclass showing you how to get started in Airbnb with zero money out of pocket. We're going to teach you these 3 things right here. Number 1 is how to find your first Airbnb anywhere where you at right now. The second thing that you're going to learn in this free training, we're going to teach you how to fund your first Airbnb. So if you have no money, that's not an excuse. So we're going to teach you how to get into Airbnb, leveraging OPM to fund it, get it furnished, to get it listed. And the last thing we're going to teach you is how to automate it. So that way you can get your freedom back. We're going to teach you how to automate your Airbnb business, how to scale it with the systems and strategies that we use to build our Airbnb empire. So we're going to teach you how to do this in this free masterclass. Click the link in the description to get registered. And I'm going to see you guys inside the masterclass, and let's get it. Yeah. So for me, what I realized when I wanted to be a 7-figure earner, I think I had this maybe instilled in me when I was in maybe high school, right? Not a specific 7-figure number or $1 million number, but I wanted to have freedom. Right, it's one thing I want to have financial freedom, right? So I could, take care of my family, take care of my pops, because at a young age, my mom did pass away. So this my dad, and I barely saw him, not because he didn't want to be in my life, but he was working 2 jobs. Yeah. Working 7 days a week. Right. So I pretty much had to kind of raise myself, learn some things of my own. And I said, you know what? Well, I don't want my life to be like this my whole life. And also I want to take care of my dad. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to become successful. And I went your route, went to school, went to college, got a job, and I was still struggling. Yeah. Right. So the moment for me, I had to think to myself, like, man, I'm giving this job all my time. I got to figure something out. I got to do something different, because I know I'm worth more than this $14, $20 an hour that I'm earning here. Yeah. Right. So, and the thing I think about is, because you just touch on this, most people think that, hey, you have to quit your job to become an entrepreneur full time. Right. No. Like, make sure you have enough savings before you make that leap of faith. Absolutely. But also tell people you're already an entrepreneur if you want to be one, even though you work a job. You're like, what do you mean? Because you're learning skill sets that you're going to use in your business, right? So keep learning those skill sets. So, your 9 to 5 is there to pay your bills and learn some skills. Right. But also after that, you're 6 to 10, use that time to build your empire. Right. So for me, and when I was first about to leave my job, I was doing that exact same concept. I was working that 9 to 5 to pay the bills, right? Even though it was miserable, I was still happy, because you know what? Later on, I'm going to quit this job and work my business full time, be a full-time entrepreneur. So once I get off of work, I'm working on my business plan. I'm working on how I'm going to do this. I'm working on how I'm going to secure some funds. I'm working on my business. And then I made that shift, right? But I knew that was going to be some work, because most people, maybe even what you already know, once they think, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, it's easy, right? I'm going to get rich. I hit the lottery once I become an entrepreneur. It's like, nah. You got to put work in. It don't work like that. It's stressful. Oh, my goodness. So I had it in my mind, I know it's going to be a lot of work. Right. You got to put some blood, sweat, and tears in. Most people think it's going to be, no, you got to put work in. You got to stay consistent. And, once I made the decision, put my 2 weeks in, and I said, hey, look, well, I'm not going to work. I'm going to say, do you find a job? You just say, no, I'm going to work for myself. right? And that was a great feeling for me. A great feeling and a scary feeling.
Yeah.
Hold on, well, I have no security, like, oh, whoa. But I had a bet on myself.
Right.
So that was a great feeling, and that's when everything began to change, and we stayed consistent, built that first business ground up, and was able to hit success, I want to say, within like 3 years after, becoming an entrepreneur. It wasn't that first year, it wasn't that second year. It took about 3 years. You had to build it from the ground up, take time, learn from my mistakes.
Yeah.
And I tell people, anything that you start, your journey is the most important process.
Right.
Because you're learning from it.
Absolutely.
You're going to have growth from it. So I always look at what I learned.
Yeah.
And it helped me get where I'm at today, because I take those skill sets and I implement it in any new business or any new thing that I'm doing.
Yeah. My
skill sets, my stuff in the past. So I tell people, don't be afraid of failure.
Right.
Your failure is going to help make you strong. You got to fail your way to the top sometimes.
Absolutely.
And that's what I was able to do.
I love that. And I love that you said it took you 3 years. Because like you said, people do have these rose-colored glasses about entrepreneurship, and they think you're just going to start and you're going to make a great amount of money. And yeah, you can, but if you make a whole lot of money quickly, you're going to miss all the mistakes. You're going to miss the systems. You're going to miss knowing that you got to pay taxes on all that money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like, you're going to miss something when you have such quick success. So I'm glad that you said that, give it a couple of years. That's and then you can build you a solid 7-figure business with Airbnb. Got you. I love it. So you say we a lot. Who is we? You have business partners. You're talking about your wife.
Yeah, business partners, and we have kids. So it's the whole family.
Oh no, that's right.
It's the whole family.
It's a family business.
Yeah, but yeah, me and my wife. So we built the business together.
Got you. I love it. I love it. So we were talking about relationships. Do you think? So I know a lot of the men in our circles are married.
Yeah.
Do you think that being married affords you some kind of luxury? Or, do you think it helps when it comes to life, when it comes to success, business? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would say 100%. And I think married people or a couple that's working in business together, you have an advantage.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have a team. It's not just you doing everything by yourself, but also you got a second opinion. Right? You got someone that you could fall back on when things are not as easy. So I think, being married and working on a business, it's a plus. Right? Then it could be tough at some times. You may be bumping heads and clashing.
Right.
But that's part of it. So I think, being married and working in business, I think that's good.
I love that. It's funny because I find that, in our circles, I like to pick people's brains. I interview, right? So I like to pick people's brains, and sometimes I just ask questions just to really pick people's brains and, get a response. And so what I've seen is like, I feel like successful men typically want to say like, okay, no, you're my wife, you over here and you do this, or you're my wife, I'm taking care of you, or you're my wife, you shouldn't be successful. You know what I'm saying? Like you should just be my wife and take care of my kids, and I'm the man and I'm going to handle that. And I think that's very toxic for our people. So I love that, you have, this feeling that you guys can work together and be partners. And you said that it was a cheat code almost.
Yeah, I think it's a cheat code, when you have your spouse and your partner doing it. And, just like you mentioned, like, I think time has changed where now you see a lot more women entrepreneurs out there now. And I think sometimes it can make, certain men feel a certain way, like, well, man, I don't want you to go to work. I just want to stay home and take care of the kids and do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to be the breadwinner. I want the limelight, everything that I'm doing.
Right.
And, he could be losing out on recent success much faster if he has his wife helping him as well, too.
That's what I think.
And that's what I think a lot of people miss out on, that your wife should be your first business partner, or your spouse should be your business partner at the same time, when you guys can talk together. Hey, this is what I want to do. And spouse say, hey, you know what? I got your support on the back end. And that's what that conversation I told my wife, say, look, I'm not working 9 to 5 my whole life. I'm going to be an entrepreneur and we're going to make it happen. So you know what? I got your back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Through thick and thin. And I think that's the type of conversation that couples and married people need to have. If one of the persons say, you know what, I want to start a business.
Got you.
And let's talk it out and let's plan this thing out and let's work this business together.
Yeah. Now let me ask. So it sounds like you were the spearhead of this Airbnb.
Yeah.
Does she have her own aspirations, or is she just rocking with the family business and we doing what?
Yeah. So she does both. So she, does the Airbnb as well too, and also she's a realtor.
Okay.
And in Florida, so she sells houses, realtor in Tampa, Florida. So she sells houses as well too. She has aspirations of building her real estate business.
Out since we talking about
Elizabeth Fanfan. So she's killing it.
One of the top agents.
One of the top agents in Tampa, Florida.
In Tampa.
So if you guys down there, you need a real estate agent, holler at my wife. She's going to take care of you until I referred you.
Yes.
So she has her own things, her own goals as well. So for me, it's like, I'm not going to tell her, hey, don't have your goals and dreams. Hey, build that as well too. But she's building the Airbnb business and she loves it.
Yeah. Awesome. Now, since you guys it sounds like you're heavily real estate focused. Have you guys started venturing into owning real estate? I know you started by just rental arbitrage. Yeah. Has that, has all the money you made afforded you, what has all the money you made afforded you to be able to do for your family?
So what it did is the freedom, being able to do different investments into stocks and different things like that. But we're looking to get back heavily into like real estate. Like we had one multifamily, but we're looking to get back heavily into real estate as well too, and be able to get some apartment complexes, because I think as entrepreneurs, you and I know, like, we trying to find ways to save taxes.
Oh, yeah.
Right? and one of the best ways to do that is through real estate. But the other thing is to really build wealth, you definitely could do it through real estate. You
Absolutely.
can pass down wealth, and you can set it up in a way where it could be, debt-free as well too. So that's something that we're working on as well, to put money into apartment investments as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, I love it. So big multifamily.
Yeah, so apartment buildings, yeah.
Okay.
And then it's a tax benefit, because we ain't trying to pay Uncle Sam a lot of money. Nah.
Well, I'm an accountant, so holler at me. If you guys are paying too much money, make sure y'all holler at me, because there are way too many strategies. Real estate is a huge one. So many tax benefits. You got depreciation, you've got expenses, you've got, so many things. But, business ownership, being a real estate, I tell people all the time, the thing about taxes is the government will pay you to do the things that they don't want to do, right? So the government doesn't want to have to house everyone. The government doesn't want to have to provide all the jobs for everyone. The government doesn't want to have to fix the schools or fix the streets, right? Yeah. So that is why they incentivize investors and entrepreneurs through the tax code. So if you want to learn a cheat code to saving more money and keeping more of your wealth that you're building, is definitely going to be through taxes, tax planning, and really understanding where the government needs help. Yeah. Because when we come and fill those needs, they give us tax breaks, they give us tax credits, they give us these deductions, you know what I'm saying? The tax code is cheat code to wealth, for sure.
100%. 100%.
Got you. So you guys, y'all have children?
Oh, yeah, 2.
Okay. Oh, y'all got little babies.
Yeah.
Oh, right. You did tell me. So talk to me about your family setup, and what are some goals? Like, what are you looking forward to being able to do with all of the success that you've been having in your business? How is that translating for you in life? It sounds like you waited till you were successful to start to have children and build your family.
Yeah.
Talk to us about your mindset when it comes about about that.
Yeah, 100%. So one of the things I always thought about, like when I did want to have kids, was that I wanted to make sure we was kind of in a good position, right? Wasn't struggling, it was in a good position. So we kind of waited before we had kids. We got married and continued to work our careers and businesses. And I always thought about, the time I didn't have with my dad, because he was working so much, working 9 to 5, right? Just to pay the bills and put food on the table. And I didn't want to be in that position where I miss out on so many events and activities of my kids, because the biggest, most expensive thing in life is time. You can't get time back.
Right.
A lot of us, we throw out time is money. We can't get that back, y'all.
Right.
That's the most expensive thing. So I thought about, I want to spend as much time with my kids as possible. I want to be in all those big moments while, with things going on in their life. So that's why, the other reason why I want to get to entrepreneurship, to get that freedom to do that with my kids. So now, because we're successful, because we're in business, because we're entrepreneurs, we get to spend as much time with our kids as we want to.
Yeah.
Right? We get to watch them grow up. I never missed an event. I go to every doctor appointment, because guess what? I'm an entrepreneur. I have the freedom to do so now. I don't got to ask permission to my boss. Hey, can I take time off? Go do this for my kids. Yeah. Can I take time off to go to a recital or go to whatever the case may be?
Yeah.
Because guess what? I'm an entrepreneur. So that's the freedom that it provides. But the other thing that I love with what we're doing and what we're building and in success and being an entrepreneur, that we could show our kids something else outside of working 9 to 5. So they choose, hey, look, I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I don't want to go to college. I want to be an entrepreneur.
It's just freedom for them.
They have freedom. They have the option. They see it.
Yep.
Right. So they get to be around it. They can see what we're doing. So,
I was going to ask, would you push your children the college job route, or are you pushing? You don't have to go to college.
It's going to be on them. It's going to be on them. Yes, we have savings for them going to college.
Right.
right? But it's on them. If they want to go to college,
Yeah.
go to college. If they don't want to and they want to become an entrepreneur, be an entrepreneur. I'm not going to force that on them because, especially now, we see you don't have to be a college graduate to be successful now.
Right.
Right? There's a lot of people we know. I know some people that's high school dropouts that are millionaires.
Yeah.
A couple of my friends.
Right.
So it's going to be a choice for them. We give them that choice where, hey, if you want to go to college, go to college. If not, then be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You know?
So let's not just dump on colleges. Was college, what kind of role did college play in your life?
Yeah, it gave me a great role. I think it helped me where I'm at today. And I tell people I never would bash college because I was able to build a network, learn some leadership skills, and get some information from being in school. I was involved in a lot of different activities as well that I provided. So I think, college is also a great learning experience you can learn. But it's not always needed for certain careers that you're trying to do. Like, I would want my doctor to go to college, right? If you're going to be working on me, doing surgery, make sure you get your education, your residency, accountant or CPA. I want you to make sure you have your education.
Absolutely.
But not all careers need that. But yeah, college was a great experience. I was able to learn a lot, leadership skills, be involved in a lot of different activities that they have, organizations in school. I pledged a fraternity as well too. So I did a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And I think it helped me become the person I am with the skills that I learned in school and the network that I was able to build there too.
Yeah. I think network is key, because when you're so young, you don't know what you want to do. So going to college, I feel like is great because it puts you around other people that are being progressive in life.
Yeah.
Right. So if you are, in a phase of life where you don't have the environment that you want to see, you don't have successful people around you, I think college is a great way to escape that and, get access to people that are more progressive. And that's what it was for me. I'm from the projects of Trenton, New Jersey. So like being able to experience private high school and college and traveling all over the world, you just experience different people. And like you said, you put yourself around these other people. We were talking yesterday about, just the networks that we've gotten from masterminds.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's so crazy to me because when I was 19 working on Wall Street, I used to be like, man, I want a mentor. How can I get me a mentor? You know what I'm saying? So like nowadays, I think people look at the coaching space and say it's like everybody's a coach, it's too many people.
Yeah.
But like when I was 19 and 20 trying to figure out what I wanted to do, these people weren't around. So I love that this day and age, we have professionals like ourselves that are out here coaching and sharing, sharing what we've learned. Because when I was looking for one, the people that were my mentors were mostly white, especially on Wall Street in the financial industry. And they looked at me like I was charity. You know what I'm saying? So nowadays, I love that when I'm in mentorships, I see 19, 20-year-olds paying 40, 50,000 like us. Big boy money to do mentorship. You know what I'm saying? So talk a little bit about how you feel about mentorship, because I know that yesterday we were just saying like there's no amount of money that you can pay to kind of get some of the network.
Yeah, the network.
That we've been able to build.
Yeah, 100. So I think, mentorship is key and network is everything. We hear all the time, your network's your net worth. But what it does is it also could push you.
Yeah.
To elevate. And now I think that is the cheat code to reach your success much faster. Because if you find someone in a mastermind or they got a mentorship program and they could show you, how to make $1 million in a short period of time, and you could pay them $20,000 or $50,000, I would say pay them whatever they ask for to learn how to make $1 million. They're going to teach you how not to make the mistakes they made and get there much faster. And I think that's what mentorship provides. But also when it comes to a group setting and group coaching or a masterminds, like you can mastermind together, right, to be able to learn different things, but also the environment that's created. Because you may have someone that's an environment, like I always say this, if you're the smartest person in your circle, like you're in the wrong circle. But when you're around certain environments, like I get certain environments, someone's doing better than me, I can learn from that person.
Right.
Right? I'm going to learn from them. And you want to be in environments where you're always learning.
Right.
And that's key, because that's going to be the cheat code to help you get further along ahead. So you always should be looking in circles of people that's doing better than you. Get in that circle, get in that environment is going to push you. And sometimes you may have to leave your city or leave your state. I was talking to a couple yesterday, said, look, where I'm at, it was no growth.
Right.
I was the only person in that city doing great things.
Right.
When I talk to somebody, like they don't understand it because they have a small mind. And they said it was to the point we had to leave and go to Atlanta, go to a different city so we could grow. We could be around other people, other entrepreneurs, other people doing better than us, and we could grow as well too and elevate.
Right.
So you may have to change your city, right? You may have to change your circle. You may have to cut some people off to be able to elevate, but that's going to be key to help you to continue to grow and get in those masterminds, get in those settings, and find mentorship to get you closer to your goals.
Got you. Super, super bar. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think mentorship has definitely been, for me, like you said, it's the network. And, a lot of times, so this is one thing that I see with students that are new to investing in themselves, new to personal development, right? First of all, I didn't just jump out the window paying $50,000 for mentorship. I started by watching YouTube. You said you were watching somebody.
What webinar?
No, on
Which one?
YouTube, and you was like, "Oh, I just found out the guy was dead. I didn't even
Oh
know."
yeah, Miles Monroe. Yeah.
So you were telling us how you were watching Miles Monroe, and it was just so dope how you were able to feel his message,
Mm-hmm.
feel his energy. Because that's how he was doing his mentorship. Like he's mentoring, and I've had my mentors in my head type of deal. So you can get mentorship for free on YouTube University. A lot of people share on Instagram. A lot of people share on TikTok and all that. But you ain't getting everything from YouTube University.
Yeah.
You have to invest. And to be honest, I felt like the first time, first of all, the first time that I knew that I could and would pay $50,000 for a mentorship was when I realized that I deserved to charge $50,000 for a mentorship. You know what I'm saying? So people hear these numbers and they be like, "Oh, that's crazy. I would never do that. I would never da da da." And that's why.
Yeah.
That's why you still broke. That's why you still stuck. That's why you still don't have the results that you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have all haters and low vibrational people around you because you're not leveling up your environment.
Yeah.
I think mentorships are key. So that's why I love what you're doing with your program. Talk to us about some of the success your mentees have seen.
Yeah. So the success that they've seen is basically the other thing is, and you touch on something that's key, or what our mentees and our mentorship program provides is, number one is the information, which I think is very important. So our mentees are able to get the information to learn how to start from having no Airbnbs to get their first one. All right, so we're showing them how to leverage a method with no money out their pocket, leveraging OPM to get into it, and how to scale to make six figures or more, whatever the case may be with it. And we do a free masterclass every week showing them step by step about Airbnb and how to get into it. So every week we do have a free masterclass where people are able to get some information.
I like that.
But if they want some more hands-on, we do got a mentorship program where they can tap into to get some more help with starting the Airbnb business.
So let me ask you about this free class.
Yeah.
I love free.
Say free is for me. Say free is for me.
Free is for me.
Say free is for me.
I love free. Y'all love free too. Y'all know y'all love free.
Yeah.
What if I come to your free class? What am I gonna learn? Like, can I really get me an Airbnb from this free class?
Yeah, I had plenty of people literally come on our free class and get their Airbnb. They'll DM me and say, "Hey, I got my Airbnb." I'm like, "What?"
Right.
Literally from the information that we taught them in our free masterclass, because we actually give them some information, give them some game, and we're not holding anything back. Like, we want you to learn information. So we're going to teach you three things. Number one is we're going to teach you how to search and find an Airbnb property that's Airbnb approved, whether it's a home that you can rent out or it's an apartment. The second thing that we're going to teach them in that masterclass is we're going to teach them how to fund their Airbnb with no money in the pocket, leveraging OPM, what banks to go to, who to apply with, to be able to get some money, business credit cards, lines of credit. Then the last thing that we're going to teach them is how to scale it and how to automate the business.
Got you.
Right? Because without automation, you don't have a business. So we teach them about automations, what tools we use, what softwares, on how to automate the Airbnb business. So we teach them all of that in that free masterclass.
Shut up.
Yeah. So they get some game.
What do we say? Free is for me. I'll make sure we drop the banner so that y'all can go and register for this free class. But y'all learn more about that in a second. Let's see. Where we going? Where we going from here?
Man, one thing I want to touch on, and I think I want to comment on this, is proximity. Proximity is power. And I think a lot of people right now, they're broke because of the mindset that they have. Because most people, they're not willing to invest in maybe a high, level program, mentorship, or whatever it is, anything.
Mentorship for that matter.
And sometimes it's not because of the money, Maven.
Yeah.
It's because they lack confidence in themselves. Right? Because they don't have the confidence to believe that they can actually become successful. So you know what they do? They find an excuse of why they can't get into it. Oh, it's too expensive. Or I don't have the time. Right? What if it doesn't work? But what if it can work? So I always look at that as the lack of confidence that people have.
Yeah.
And they try to instill those fears into other people.
Right. And, our people, I feel like they always want to know, well, is there a guarantee?
Yeah.
If I'm spending $20,000, what you guarantee? What you doing for me?
Yeah. People have that mindset. One thing that's guaranteed in life is death. And that should scare people, scare you enough and motivate you enough to do something and take action immediately. Right? But most people, they wait. I'm gonna see if it work for you first, and then I'm gonna hop in, and it's too late. Right? Once you have success, well, they like, it's too late for me. I can't do it. Right? And the other thing is, people are not willing to better themselves, and they're not willing to put the work in.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, you as the mentor, as the coach, we're going to give you the game. We're going to coach you. We're going to tell you what to do, but it's on you to do the work. And most people don't want to do the work. They want to skip that part. They don't want to do the work.
So that's why people say mentorship don't work.
Because they don't work.
Because they get in it and don't work.
They don't work.
Right.
They don't work. So you have to do the work. Anything that you do, you have to do work. You can't skip that part.
Right.
You got to do the work.
Got you. Yeah, that's crazy. So I hope that more people understand that, mentorship is the shortcut. Like it's really the key to unlock your brain. I mean, especially, your mentor.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I can't wait to get his program. But just being around. Even last night, right? So last night I felt like we had a chance to really fellowship. And, we all are working and we all support each other and we all kind of see what each other is doing. But when we don't get a chance to talk about it, I feel like those are, opportunities that I love when we do get those times, right? So last night was super dope. And we were talking about some private equity deals. So I'm like, well, this is one thing I'm looking at. They telling me this what I'm getting 3,000, I'm getting 5,000. I'm like, what, how I do this?
Different money conversations. You got to get in the rooms.
Gotta get in the rooms. Absolutely. All right. Well, it has been a pleasure. Do you have any last jewels, gems, bars that you want to drop on the people?
The one thing I would say is take action. Take action, y'all. Believe in yourself. Go out there and just do the work. Find the information. Look for information. Right. That's one thing I'll tell you. Look for information because information can really change everything for you. And a lot of times we don't do that. Don't just stop at your current education you have, your master's, your college degree, or your high school education. Keep looking for education, right? Because understand your self-education that you learn is going to make you a fortune. That's one thing that my mentor told me, so I never stopped learning. So never stop learning. Keep learning because the more you learn, the more your bank account is going to grow and the more happy that you will be. So with that being said, back to you, boss.
I love it, man. I say that we actually put that in my son's book. Self-education is wealth education. That's what we put in my son. My son wrote a book called ABCs for Rich Kids. And that's the tagline. I
want a signed book. Give me a signed book.
Oh, listen, he got them. We got the signed books. We got the ebooks. Whatever you like at abcsforrichkids.com.
Let's go.
Shameless plug, but make sure y'all go check out the book. But no, this was a super dope episode. Like I said, I've looked at Airbnb before as an option, and I just felt like maybe it wasn't for me, but maybe somebody got some clarity today. Maybe they can start off with their one. But even 4, it just really blows my mind that 4 Airbnbs can get me 6 figures in a year. That's too easy. It's too easy.
Too easy not to do it.
Yeah,
but you know what? Guess what?
Easy.
Some people ain't gonna do it.
Some people ain't gonna do it.
Doing what they're doing now. So I'll take the money. I don't want to take it.
So sad. Well, that is gonna wrap this week's episode, guys. I hope you found some inspiration. King Eugene's out here killing it. He definitely gave me some gems when it comes to this Airbnb space. And I'm the type to say, well, look, you wanna make $100,000. Well, this is what you need to do. You getting your refund check from college? Okay, cool. Go ahead and get you an apartment, right? Now you don't need to work. Now you can have some freedom. You can have the, brain capacity to attract more, because that's what life is all about, is being free and being able to choose what you want for your life. So I hope that y'all found something in this episode. Either way, I appreciate you guys for joining us. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this episode. Send it to one of your friends. Somebody needs to watch this, right? Because they're trying to start Airbnb this year. But more importantly, make sure you follow me, Shaniqua Nicole, the Millennial Money Maven, and follow King Eugene on Instagram.
At Mr. Eugene 06.
At Mr. Eugene
06. Yeah, follow me at Mr. Eugene 06 on Instagram.
Awesome. Well, that wraps this week's episode, guys. It was super fun. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Black Wealth Weekly. I'm your host, Shaniqua Nicole, and I hope to see you next week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on them notifications, and head to blackwealthweekly.com where you can read all the new episodes of These Entrepreneurs and so many others.